All right, everybody, it's here. The hockey season is here. Full out alarm. Everybody get ready. We got to let you know our title sponsor, NHL Sense Arena, just added 2 incredible new training programs that you got to check out. The first one's the Player Advancement Series, or PASS. Good job on them for that acronym. That's pretty good. That one's for skaters. And then the Goalie Advancement Program, or GAP. Once again, geniuses over there for netminders. Both are guided, progressive training plans designed to focus on specific skill sets that are fundamental to be successful at any positions on the ice. Again, they have so many new exciting updates coming. We're going to keep you updated throughout the entire year. But for right now, that's the deal. Remember, check it out at sensearena.com/OKPH. Again, that's sensearena.com/OKPH. And if you'd like to sign up, you can use the code OKPH at checkout to receive $25 off an annual subscription. They're always so generous over there. So sign up today. Give your hockey player the mental edge they need to start the season strong. And again, just in case you didn't know, NHL Sense Arena is the leading VR hockey training platform built for the Meta Quest, and it's the only official licensed VR training tool for the NHL and an official partner of USA Hockey of OMHA, which is up in Canada. So again, check it out, sensearena.com/OKPH, sensearena.com/OKPH, sensearena.com/OKPH. They always tell you to say it in threes. Enjoy that. We're going to dive into the episode right now. Thanks for listening. Hello, hockey skaters and goalies around the world, and welcome back to another edition of The Ride to the Rink. It's Lee and Christy today, and we've got our friend Christian here of Grunnah Power Skating. If any of you are on social media, believe me, you have seen this person. You have seen his Instagram. You have seen his social media stuff. And Christy, he has delivered a lot of gold on the big episode this week. But for the episode of The Ride to the Rink, he's got some other stuff going on that we got to share.
Right, kids. And I think it's something that you might not really associate or think about with skating. So we're going to open up your eyes and open up your minds. And here's Christian.
Guys, when you hit the ice, every time you hit the ice, what is the first thing that goes through your head? Right? For me, when I coach and when I play, I think about how can I be the most creative? Can I unlock my creativity on the ice? Now, if we really just break that down to the word create, what can I create for myself on the ice, for my teammates? What kind of opportunities can I unlock by result of really good skating, by being really smart about my decisions and my positioning, right? So the more I'm able to unlock any kind of pressure that I might have in my brain or in my feelings that I need to perform a certain way for my coach, for my parents, and let that go and allow myself to almost paint a picture every shift that I have. What do I want to do in that shift? And usually that really comes down to the creativity that I'm able to unlock in the way that I move, right? Can I win every single race? Can I be really effective in every battle for the puck? Can I find more space for myself and my teammates by changing speed, by changing direction, by protecting the puck? How creative can I be? And usually that's going to help me have a lot more fun because I'm then going to make moves that I've worked on and that I really enjoy. I'm going to be a really tough opponent to play against because people aren't going to be able to just predict what I'm doing because I have a different mindset than just a rigid set. Oh, I go here, I do this. I'm unlocking a potential in myself to play with more freedom and a flow of what I can do personally versus anyone else on the ice.
You know, Christian, something else you brought up on the big episode that we have to tap into here when you talk about creativity, you had spoken about how in your life, you have also studied things like the arts and acting and theater. And we talk a lot to the kids on the show about things like music and writing and speaking and just the different aspects away from sport. Can you tap on it for a minute about how that type of study, that type of exploration into creativity not only helps you in life, but helps in hockey too? It's a muscle you can flex.
Absolutely. The best part about our game is that we have to play together in order to be effective. And one of the best, but also the hardest things to do, especially as a young player, is actually putting your energy and your focus on someone else, right? And one of the things that I learned from doing theater or acting was to get outside of my own bubble. I had to listen more. I had to focus on someone else and what they were doing, what they were giving to me. And I had to respond to that, right? So not just thinking about, oh, what's my process, but what's my teammate doing? What's the person that I'm sharing this space with giving to me? And how can I level that up for them, right? Because we're all connected, right? The 6 players that we have on the ice, can't leave out the goalie, right? All of my teammates, we're all going to have an effect on one another, right? And the best players are the ones who are leveling up with their teammates. That means that they're not, again, playing in a bubble or with the blinders on or a mirror in front of their face, right? So in having experiences away from the rink, right, in acting, right, or even just in friendships, the more I can listen, the more I can see what's happening for a friend, right, a teammate, someone sharing that space with me, the more I'm going to be able to help them. And then eventually that's going to make me a better person and a better teammate. And my teammates are going to be excited to play with me because they know I'm not just focused on what I'm doing for myself. I don't want a highlight reel just for me. I want to level all of us up so that we can all have success.
Right. And Christian, the kids listening now, they love getting better at hand-eye coordination. They love practicing their shot and stick handling. How much should they work on skating to improve their game?
Absolutely. I tell kids all the time, I'm like, when you get on the ice, the first thing you got to do is you got to move, right? You only touch the puck a handful of times every shift. If you're lucky, sometimes you have a whole shift where you might not even touch the puck, right? So as tedious as it is, right, the more discipline we can have to really hone in the blades on the bottom of our feet before we hone in the blade at the bottom of our stick, the more effective we're going to be, right? So if we're not wasting energy, right, if we're not just, relying on our hard work or our athleticism to get ourselves into the place that we want to be, but if we really have a complete masterful relationship with those skates, man, are we going to be way better off. So all the time that you can spend on making a good relationship with your skates, right, the easier it's going to be when you play in that game. So you don't have to think about it anymore.
That's the key. So you don't have to think about it.
That's it.
Good relationship with your skates, good relationship with other people. Kids, listen, if you're listening to this show, you love hockey. You're not listening to this show if you don't love hockey. Just remember, hockey can be in everything that you do. Sure. And you also have to remember that you're so much more than just a hockey player, right? That's Wherever right. You're at on that journey, remember, we believe in you. You should too. For Christian Grunnah, for Krista Casciano Burns, I'm Lee Elias. Kids, thanks for listening to The Ride to the Rink. We'll see you on the next episode. Make sure to have fun, skate hard, and skate on. Take care, everybody.